Good afternoon, Orange County and beyond. I am Heather Bell, the Director of Membership for the Orange County Chamber of Commerce. I am excited to introduce you today to Dan Arnoff. He is the Vice President of Arnoff Moving and Storage with 4 locations, 2 in New York, 1 in Connecticut, and 1 in Florida. And they have been in business for 96 years and a Chamber of Commerce member since 1989. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks, Heather, and thank you for having me, and thank you to everybody at the chamber for welcoming me on the show today. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. I love talking to people that have been generationally involved in their family business. We had a great conversation about the dynamics about that around your dining room table at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we all love it, although sometimes it gets a little bit overkill when we're sitting around the Thanksgiving table like we talked about. But for the most part, everyone in the family that's either in the business or not in the business really, loves Arnoff and what we do for the community and, having it as our family business.
That's great. So there's got to be some kind of, secret to the success. Tell us the history. Let's start there. You've got to be doing something right for 96 years to be successful.
Yeah, I think so. So the history is that in the mid 1920s, my great grandfather and his father, so my great grandfather and my great great grandfather, started the company because they had a truck. They were kind of farmers, but they didn't really know if they wanted to be farmers. And in the area of Connecticut where they lived, there was a lot of wealthy families from New York City, and they would ask my great grandfather to send his truck down to New York and bring stuff back and forth to their summer homes and weekend homes, and we would help them move furniture and art and different things back and forth between Park Avenue and Lakeville, Connecticut, and Salisbury, Connecticut. And over time, I think they realized that being in the moving business was going to be more lucrative for them to be being farmers, and it was really more what they wanted to do. And then as time has gone on and the subsequent generations have joined the family, we kind of use the expertise that our ancestors built of handling, high-end items and fine art for their customers to diversify the business into other areas where we can now serve the business community and provide a much longer list of services than probably they ever imagined that we would.
That is an amazing forward-thinking growth from farming, and it really lends to how your entire family is forward thinkers, and we'll get into that. So let's start, diving into the diversity of services that the company offers.
Yeah, so it's a pretty long list now. I think that is, when you ask me what the secret to our success is, it's really the diversification that we've gone through, especially since the 60s when my grandfather joined and took over the company from his father. So today, we still move families. That's still a big part of what we do and a very important core service. We do office moves. So, if an office is moving from one building to another, or we need to reconfigure some desks, we'll do that. We have a wide range of warehousing services that we offer. So whether we're storing your family items that you just want to declutter your garage and get out of there, or whether we're storing items for a business that they need us to store because they need more back warehouse support, they don't have enough space for their showroom. And now we've kind of taken it to the next step with some fulfillment services that we're offering. So, we work with a lot of e-commerce retailers where we stock all their inventory in our warehouse. And then when their customers place orders, we're the ones that actually pull the item off the shelf, pack it up, ship it to their customers. We have a division that does rigging and machinery moving. So we work with a lot of the manufacturers in Orange County and the greater Hudson Valley and help them do installs or machinery moves when they're reconfiguring their factory facilities. And the list continues to go on. We also do home delivery service. So, we work with a lot of companies that have to ship items to their customers, but UPS or FedEx, it's too large for UPS or FedEx to ship. So they'll hire us to do the final delivery, whether it's furniture or a new TV, and deliver it into somebody's home.
Wow. Oh, okay. That's mostly the moving side, but on the moving side too, there's also, tell us how Florida came to be. I mean, I can kind of guess, knowing that we live in New York, and what's called a snowbird, but
Yeah, I
that was
mean, so
Florida making.
yeah, so the Yeah, so the Florida facility came to be in the late 70s, early 80s. We realized that as we expanded our moving business and we were doing more long distance moves, not just local moves in the Hudson Valley and around Connecticut, that many of our customers were moving to Florida, or many of them had homes here in New York and then winter homes or homes that they'd spend time at in different parts of the year down in Florida. And so they would be asking us to put items on our truck and move them back and forth between these homes. And this became so busy for us that we realized that it would make sense to have another location in Florida, because that allows us to have a sales force down there and a team of people down there, so that when the truck goes down and brings all your things to Florida because you're retiring and you're moving down there, we have salespeople that are sending stuff back, can fill that truck up as they come back up the East Coast, up the 95 corridor. And even if it's not going to make it all the way back to New York, deliveries in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., wherever it might be. And it's, been a great thing for us ever since we started that.
What a great logistical business decision.
Yeah, it just has made sense. And our trucks go all over the country, but I think we all know, living in this area, when you talk to people, especially when they're retiring, it's the Carolinas, it's Florida, and who can blame them, right? It's
Right.
beautiful down there. It's a great place to retire to, or even, just have a home for somewhere to go and get away from the hustle and bustle or the snow in the wintertime here.
True. Very true. Now storage, because we're on off moving and storage. There's climate control. We've got portable storage, hard copy, document. Tell us about that.
So our storage offerings are, pretty diverse, as with all of our offerings. So, for the family items, we have what we call the Arnoff vault. We have a vault here in Poughkeepsie. We have one at our facility in Millerton, New York. We have one at our facility in Malta, up near Saratoga Springs. And basically, we take your items and we put them in these special individualized vault containers, so that that your items are safe and secure in our warehouse. They're not going to get bumped into. They're not spilling over into someone else's items. Your items are consolidated in one or more personal vaults that we store for you. And in some cases, we can bring that vault right to your house, load your stuff into the vault, and then it never gets touched again until you tell us to bring it back to your house or to your new house. We also offer climate controlled storage for fine art, for really sensitive antiques, pianos, and electronics. So, in this area, there's a lot of manufacturers in the semiconductor industry, and many of their machines, if they're not on the factory floor, need to be stored in very sensitive environments. So we monitor the temperature and the humidity levels in those areas of our buildings to make sure that these items are kept in the proper conditions, so that they're not eroding or corroding or anything like that while they're with us. And then
I bet the general public does not know the science that goes into determining storage.
People see a warehouse and they it's hard to know what's going on inside, but we really, especially in our climate controlled facilities, it's really important. So we have monitors, and if anything gets out of the range where it's supposed to be, someone will get an alarm, even if it's on the weekend. We have special trucks that are also climate controlled, so that when we're actually taking the item from wherever it's going to our warehouse, or from our warehouse to wherever it's going, it can maintain that same level of temperature and humidity the entire time. So there's no fluctuations. And some of our customers require us to provide reports on what the temperatures were, because these items generally have very high dollar figures, and they're extremely important. Some of them are irreplaceable, and it's just important for us to make sure that we're meeting these customers' needs.
A lot of technology, a lot of attention to detail. Very
Exactly. And it
interesting.
goes back to what it goes back to what my great grandfather did when he was working with his high end clients in New York City, because they required someone that had a lot of attention to detail, sensitive handling.
Yeah.
They had art, they had expensive furniture, and so we just continued to carry that over into what we're doing today. Moving on beyond that with the storage side, I talked a little bit about fulfillment that we do, but another way that we connect with a lot of the local businesses, especially the legal field and the medical field, is we provide records storage or hard copy document storage and management. So we'll go into a doctor's office, for example. That's really the best example to me. And a lot of times you'll see behind the reception desk, there's a series of everybody's folders. And then when the doctor takes you back to the exam room, he has the folder and he's making notes in there the whole time about, whatever he's talking to you about that day. Well, people don't realize most of these doctors' offices have thousands, if not tens of thousands of patients that they see throughout the course of the year. And there would be no way for the office to store those files on site. There's just not enough space for it. So we will come in and we'll index all the files. So, from A to Z or whatever way they do it, we'll pack them into boxes, bring it back to our warehouse.
It looks like we've lost Dan for a second. We've had some challenges with our technology lately. I apologize. They have moved in their essential business has responded tremendously to COVID. And that was going to be the next thing that Dan and I discussed. And luckily we have Joanna operating behind the scenes. If we are able to get Dan back, we will discuss that next. What I will do is tell you that there are many services that they offer, and they're a very forward-thinking team. They work with several school districts, and they applied what they did with the school districts to transitioning with COVID to help the school districts create their plans that they presented to the states. Their phones are ringing off the hook right now with the real estate market booming and people moving. So they've been able to rise to the crisis with that as well. There's also a lot of companies that are going virtual and storing data in climate controlled storage areas. So this is something else that Arnoff Moving and Storage has been integral in helping the community with. They have not experienced any layoffs whatsoever. In fact, they're hiring. So they're adding jobs, and their jobs are posted on their website and their Facebook page. And there are several keys to their success, but I don't want to steal that thunder from Dan. So I'm kind of hoping that he's able to get back on in a second to discuss what they were. One thing that they are able to continue to do is to give back to the community where they work and they live. And I was very excited to hear about their furniture delivery service, which is a amazing community service because with their furniture delivery service, any furniture that is unable to be delivered would have to be destroyed. So therefore, instead of destroying it, they donate it to the Habitat for Humanity Restore. And then it is then sold, and Habitat for Humanity is able to use those funds as they do for their service as well. So at this point, I would like to thank Dan Arnoff for joining us today. And oh, he's back.
I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
No problem. I know I didn't do justice whatsoever to everything that you do. I did discuss while you were gone with our audience about how you were able to respond as an essential business to COVID, working with the school districts, and how forward-thinking your team is. Please share in your words how you were able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, when the crisis hit, just like everyone else, there was a lot of uncertainty. But the one thing that we knew as a family business, we consider our employees and our customers all part of our family. And so as soon as we were sure, I mean, we were pretty sure right from the beginning, but as soon as we were sure we were going to be deemed an essential business, we just made up our minds that no matter what happened, we were going to keep all of our employees working the entire time, whatever that meant. We had a lot of projects that we wanted to do, and some of them you don't always get time to do. So for a little while, things slowed down a little bit for us, and we actually got to get a lot of these projects that we wanted to do in our warehouses and different parts of our business done. But pretty quickly, our phones started ringing off the hook because there were still customers that needed us to respond to what they were doing, whether it would be local charity organizations that needed to get food, storage, or out to the community. And then our customers started calling us. We saw with our e-commerce businesses that we work with that their businesses really just exploded during COVID because most of the stores were either not open or inaccessible. So our home delivery business and our fulfillment business really took off significantly, and we haven't seen volumes like this really ever before. We've actually been on a hiring spree throughout this entire crisis, and we have many open positions right now that we're still looking to fill, more than we had expected before the crisis hit. So, we want to make sure that the entire community knows that we're hiring. That's very important to us. But yeah, I mean, we've just tried to do everything we can to be flexible, work with our customers, and just stick with our commitment to keeping our employees working. And we're fortunate that we didn't have to lay anybody off the entire time throughout COVID, and pretty much everyone kept a full schedule, and probably now are getting more hours than they might have been before the crisis hit.
That's great. That's wonderful. And you know what? The foundation was there prior. So kudos to you and all of your family for the amazing job that you've done throughout the years, building this successful business that you have. Tell us, Dan, because I started to tell our audience about this, but I was so very impressed with the furniture delivery service and how it flows into the amazing community service. I'd love for you to share it in your words, though.
Sure. So with our home delivery business, many times when customers return an item, it's either brand new or really hasn't been used more than one or two times, whether it's a sofa or a dining room table and chairs or something along those lines. Oftentimes the manufacturers of these items, even though they're being returned, really don't want the item back. I don't really know why, whether it's the cost of shipping it back outweighs the benefit of them getting it back, or they don't think they're going to be able to resell it for whatever reason. And so they just tell us either donate it or dispose of it, but really they just say dispose of it and get rid of it, and that's the end of it. So we were seeing this go on and realizing that we had to find a way to, get these products back to the community instead of filling up the landfill. And so we started to work with the local Habitat for Humanity and their Restore program. So we're now on a almost weekly or a couple time a month basis, we're delivering full truckloads of new or almost new furniture to Restore, which then Restore is able to sell at a deeply discounted price to people who need the furniture for their homes and may not be able to afford to buy it brand new. The funds from that go to support Habitat for Humanity's primary initiative of building homes for people in the community that can't afford to build a home for themselves. And so it really comes full circle. And then, of course, the big other benefit is that it's just not going in the landfill. So it's really a win-win-win for everybody because it allows us to, give these products to people who need it, funding an amazing organization and supporting our environment, hopefully by keeping the landfills, unfilled. It's been really been a great program. It's something we got off the ground this year. And we think it's going to continue on for many years to come. And hopefully many people in our community will benefit from that.
And there's a lot of collaborations that will come from it as well. And thank you so much. Thank you. That really warmed my heart when we talked about it recently. So Dan, thank you for joining us today. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I just thank you. And, we thank the Orange County Chamber for all the support you've given us over the years since we joined. I didn't even realize it was that long ago in the 80s, but I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's been a long relationship. We thank the Orange County community in general and at large for their support of us and using our business. And, I hope everybody learned something new about us today. And we just want to be here for local families and local businesses to support in any way we can. So, if anybody needs anything that Arnoff can assist with, please just always reach out to us and give us a call. I think our number's going across the bottom of the screen right now. And
it sure is.
Again, like I said before, all of our customers and our employees and the community we consider part of our family. We're a family business. We want to instill that in everything that we do. We stand behind everything that we do, and we're here for everybody in the community. So thank you, and thank you to the community.
Thank you, and I hope I pitched it pretty good. I got
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad we got reconnected.
It's happened a couple of times recently, so hopefully we can get in touch with the software people and figure it out. But thank you so much for coming back on, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye now.
And thank you to all of our members for allowing us to continue to support them and grow their businesses, and to our corporate partners for their dedication and commitment to the mission of the Chamber. We have a lot going on that I'm excited to share with you. Tomorrow, join us at 2:00 on Facebook Live for a COVID update with Dr. Irina Gelman, the Orange County Commissioner of Health. Wednesday, we have our members only coffee connection at 3. And Meet the Member, we're going to meet Here's Health, Staffing and Recruiting. On Thursday, for members and non-members, is our very first virtual speed networking. You must register at orangeny.com. That's at 5:30 p.m. And Monday, I'm excited to announce that we'll be hosting a ribbon cutting, a live ribbon cutting at Hudson Heritage Credit Union in Middletown to unveil their new branding at 8:30 a.m. Now, to comply with the current regulations, we are limited in our capacity. Therefore, we're asking that you register for this free event at orangeny.com. And if you would please adhere to social distancing and wearing your masks, we would appreciate it. Thank you so much and have a great day.